Welcome to Smartsheet Module 2. By the end of this presentation, you'll have an understanding of an overview of Smartsheet's basic features, how you can use it to manage a variety of projects, how to create an account, build and format a sheet, share your work with others, generate alerts and reminders, and import and export data.
Hi, welcome to the Smartsheet 101 training session. My name is Travis. I'm part of the support team here at Smartsheet. So today we're going to cover some of the more basic functionality of Smartsheet, a little bit of orientation of the application, how to set up an account, how to import a sheet, formatting and collaborating on the sheet once it's imported into Smartsheet, setting up alerts such as reminders and notifications, and printing and exporting your sheets. So Smartsheet is an online collaborative tool which can help you manage virtually any type of work, from project management, sales pipeline, to budgeting. Pretty much anything you might be using spreadsheets and email to keep track of can now be easily set up in Smartsheet and share online with others and get real-time updates. Smartsheet is a web-based application, so there's nothing to download or install to your computer. You can access it from pretty much any device with an internet connection. Here we are on our home page. If you haven't created a free 30-day account, you can go ahead and do so here. It takes about 5 minutes, you'll get an email, and it takes a couple minutes to get started. If you already have an account, you can press the login button to go to our login screen. Here you have another option to sign up for an account, or you can use your Google account to sign in and to sign up for an account. The Remember Me function will remember your last saved session with Smartsheet. So you can be logged into Smartsheet, close your browser, shut down your computer, and if you come back to Smartsheet, you won't need to log in again. So you have your username and password, you can enter it here, and select Login. So here we have our Home tab with our sheets, folders, and workspaces. And we're going to come up here to the Plus tab, which is the Add New tab. And we have the option to create a new sheet from scratch or import existing data. Down below, we have our template gallery, and we have a template for pretty much any type of business you may be in. If you're having any trouble getting started, this is a great place to start. So what we're going to do today is import an existing file that we've been working on offline in Excel. In our Import Settings menu, we have the option to change the sheet name. It's going to ask us to choose which row we want to use as our column headers. We can rename our column headers. And it's going to prompt us to select a primary column. In Smartsheet, every sheet has a primary column, which is the main descriptor for each row. The primary column can be renamed, but it cannot be deleted from a sheet. It is the only column where hierarchies or tasks and subtasks are displayed. The primary column can only be a text number column, so it can't be a date column, a contact list, or a drop-down column. If our settings look good, we can go ahead and import the sheet. Here we have the Excel file, which was imported into Smartsheet and created a new sheet. Smartsheet was able to recognize these columns as date fields, and it automatically formatted the columns as date columns. I'm going to want to assign these tasks to users, so I'm going to want to create a new contact list column. To add a new column to my sheet, right-click on any column header and select Insert One, left or right. I'm going to select a contact list. Say OK. And I'm also going to want to see some sort of visual indicator on the progress of each one of these tasks. So I'm going to add another column. I'm going to name it Status. And I'm going to choose a red, yellow, green light. The red, yellow, green light balls can be used for a variety of things. You can mark the progress of a task, the viability of a potential client, or log in a priority of support tickets or calls. But that's not really where I wanted that column in my sheet, so I can actually rearrange the columns by clicking and dragging on the column header to the location that I wanted. Next, we're going to set up the hierarchies in our sheet. And you'll hear this term a lot. It's pretty interchangeable with task and subtask or parent and child relationship. So for example, all these tasks are subtasks of the main task, which is the website launch. So I'm going to highlight these rows and click the indent button on my toolbar. And these three tasks are subtasks of design. So I'm going to highlight. And another way to indent is to right click and select indent. We can also use a keyboard shortcut, which is Control K or Command K if you're on a Mac. Now add a little bit of formatting. So now we have all of our tasks organized into smaller logical groupings, and all these can be expanded or collapsed to see just the tasks that we are currently working on. Now that we have our sheet structured the way we want, we can start assigning these tasks to people. You can import your contacts into Smartsheet by going to Account, My Smartsheet Contacts, and we can import from Gmail, Yahoo, or anything that can produce a CSV file or a vCard, or we can add contacts one at a time. When you type contact's name into a contact list column, Smartsheet will auto-resolve based on your contact list. You can also click the drop-down arrow and select Contact and choose from your contact list. Or you can create new contacts right from the sheet. Next, let's add the status for these tasks. The website launch as a whole is going pretty well, so we'll give it a yellow. The design team's doing a good job, so all these tasks will be green. Content is doing all right. The product went well, but services has a little bit of issues, so we're going to make that a yellow. And the release cycle is having quite a bit of trouble. While the alpha went all right, the beta is having quite a few bugs. So this is a task that we might want to spend more of our attention on. So we're going to make this a red. So far, we've imported a file from Excel, which created a new sheet. We've added columns by right-clicking on a column header and selecting Insert One. We created a contact list column and a status column, and we set up our hierarchies. On the far left, we have three columns: the attachment, the discussion, and the row action indicator column. You can attach pretty much any type of file to your sheet, either on a row, which would be task specific, or on the sheet as a whole. To add an attachment to your sheet, come to the Attachments tab down at the bottom. You can upload from your computer, or you can attach from Google Drive, Box, Dropbox, or any online storage solution which can produce a URL for the file. And we can see the file I uploaded, the time and date I uploaded the file, and who uploaded it. If you would like to attach a file to a row to make it task specific, click the paperclip icon in the Attachments column and upload. You can also drag and drop from your computer directly to a row. Next, we have the Discussions column. Discussions are a great way to track comments and to make sure everyone's on the same page. You can even copy and paste relevant emails directly into discussions. You can have sheet-level discussions through the Discussions tab at the bottom of your sheet, or you can have row-level discussions, which would be more task-specific. You can even upload attachments directly to your discussions. Here we see the comment I made, my attachment, my name, and the time and date. Discussions can also be emailed to anyone by clicking the Email Discussion button. and you can choose to include the discussion attachments. The third column is a row actions column, and icons will show up here for row level reminders, locked rows, pending update requests, and smart sourcing requests. As we do some of these later on the webinar, we'll start to see the icons appear here. So now we're ready to start collaborating on our sheet. And in Smartsheet, there's three main ways to collaborate or share your data. You can share the entire sheet, you can send rows, or you can send update requests. So let's take a look at the sharing tab down at the bottom. And when I click this, a new form is going to show up. And let's say I want to share my sheet with my boss who wants to stay updated of the progress of the website. So I'm going to share, type in his email address. And I want him to be able to see the sheet, but I don't want him to be able to make any changes. So I'm going to make him a viewer. A viewer can view the sheet, but they can't edit or save any changes. An editor can, but they're limited to what they can do. An admin has almost complete control over the sheet. They just can't delete the sheet. So my boss is going to get an email with a link to this sheet, and whenever he logs into Smartsheet, he will see this sheet in his Home tab. But he actually just got back to me, and he wants to be able to make a couple changes to the sheet. So I can change his permission level by clicking the drop down next to his name, selecting Change Permissions. I'm going to make him an editor, but I don't want him to be able to share the sheet with anyone, so I'm going to leave that blank. If I ever needed to come back and remove him from sharing, I can do the same thing, clicking the drop-down menu and selecting Remove from Sharing. Now let's take a look at sending update requests to a user assigned to the task. The sheet owner and collaborators with admin or editor access to the sheet can send update requests to others via email. Update requests are a great way to get a quick update from people, especially if they're not shared to your sheet or if they don't even have a Smartsheet account, such as vendors, clients, or consultants. To send an update request, you can select a row or multiple rows, right-click, and select Send Update Request. Update requests can be sent right away or scheduled on a recurring basis. Now James is going to get an email with a link to view just these rows that I sent him. He'll be able to make his changes and submit them, and they will be automatically reflected into the sheet. When he submits these changes, I will get an email letting me know exactly what changes he made. The recipient can only see the rows that I sent him, and he cannot delete any rows or change any column properties. Finally, we'll do a send row, which can include attachments and discussions. You can send a row or a selection of rows to anyone via email by highlighting the rows, right-clicking, and selecting Send Row. And we're going to choose to include attachments and discussions. This will enable you to offer a viewing access of a subset of your sheet, rather than exposing all of it by sharing the entire sheet. It's also a great way to send someone a quick update regarding tasks that are relevant to them. So far, we've collaborated in three different ways. We shared the entire sheet, we sent an update request to the person assigned to the task, and we sent a few rows, including their attachments and discussions. So let's review the toolbar over here on the left. The top left button is the Sheet Actions button to allow you to create new sheets, import, open, refresh, or rename your sheet. You can save a copy of your sheet by selecting Save as New, or create a template from your sheet. The sharing menu is the same sharing menu that we saw previously. We can send the sheet as an attachment, either as a PDF or an Excel file to anyone via email, and we can schedule this to happen on a recurring basis. We can export the sheet as an Excel file, PDF, or Google spreadsheet. If this was a project file with a Gantt chart, we would be able to export the Gantt chart to an image file or the entire sheet to a Microsoft project file. Next is the option to print, which we also have on our toolbar. And when we select this option, we'll see a menu so we can print to a PDF. Next is the Send or Share Sheet button, which will allow us to share the sheet, send it as an attachment, or email shared users, which is a good way to send a blanket email to everyone shared to the sheet. Down here, we have the Highlight Changes button. And because I did just make this sheet, when I turn it on, everything's going to be highlighted. But if you're working on a large sheet with a lot of different collaborators making changes every day, this would be a good option to see maybe just the things that changed in the last day, last hour, or the last time you viewed the sheet. And you can actually view the history of any cell by right-clicking in the cell, selecting View History. This will show you the complete history of the cell, including who made the change, what the change was, and when the change was made. Next, we'll talk about conditional formatting. The conditional formatting button is located on your toolbar, and conditional formatting rules are used to automatically apply formatting to cells based on values they contain. Conditional formatting is used to apply formatting, but not to change cell values. So let's say I want to highlight all the rows that have a red status, because those are the tasks that I need to pay more attention to. So I select Set Condition. If the status is red, apply this format to the entire row. And all conditional formatting rules are live updating, so if I make a change in my sheet, the formatting will be automatically applied. But maybe I only want to see the items that have a red status and are due in the next month. So I can add an AND condition. Say the due date is in the next 30 days. And now I'm only going to see the task highlighted where the due date is in the next 30 days. You can set a conditional formatting rule for pretty much any aspect of your sheet. If James Page comes into the sheet, he can set a rule that highlights any task that is assigned to him. So now any task that is assigned to James will highlight the Assigned To column green. So let's take a look at a way you can be notified of the changes your collaborators are making in your sheet. If we come down to the Alerts tab, we have Notifications and Reminders. Notifications are automatic emails that are sent when changes are made to your sheet. You can select which one of the shared users will receive the notification, the frequency in which it is sent, and what sort of changes will trigger the notification. So my boss only really cares about the status of each of these tasks. So I'm going to create a new notification that is sent to just my boss right away when the status of a task changes. So when anyone comes into the sheet and updates the status, he'll get an email right away letting him know what the change was and who made it. It's important to know that notifications will only include changes that are made by other collaborators. You will not receive notifications for changes you make to the sheet. Reminders are automatic emails that are set to remind you or your team members of tasks. They can be set on a specific day or based on the date column in your sheet. You can set sheet level reminders that can be applied to all tasks in your sheet. We can tell the reminder to look to whoever is assigned to a task and send them an email 2 days before the due date for their task. So now this one reminder is set for all these tasks, and 2 days before the due date, it will email whoever is assigned to the task to remind them their task is due. But we can set row level reminders as well by right-clicking on the row number, selecting Set Reminder. We can tell it to look to the Assigned To column. Send an email 1 day before the start date. So now this reminder will look to the contact list column and send this user an email 1 day before the start date. And we look over in the row actions column, we see a little reminder icon, which indicates there is a reminder set for this row. Go to the Home tab, back to our Sheets and Workspaces. If we look in the top left, we see the Account button. Account Admin will be different depending on the type of account you have. Here, the admin for your account can see your plan type, sheets owned, users, and storage. Team and enterprise accounts will have user management, where you can add and remove and manage your users. Team and enterprise accounts will also be able to view the login history for everyone in their account. Personal settings will allow you to change your name, email address, password, update your time zone or language and country. When you change your language and country, your default date format will automatically be adjusted based on whatever is used in your country. You can also adjust your autosave settings, attachment settings, and your email preferences. The colors and logo will allow you to change the colors and logo for your sheets. You can choose from one of our pre-selected color options, or you can select any of these options from the color selector. If your company has their own 8-digit color codes, you can add them here. You can also update the logo for your sheet with your company logo. In Smartsheet, you have folders and workspaces to organize your data. Folders will allow you to organize your sheets and reports and are personal to just you. So folders cannot be shared with other users, but their content can be shared with users. If you share a sheet with someone in a folder, they will not see the other sheets in the folder or the folder. Workspaces are excellent for maintaining set sharing permissions for different groups. The workspace owner and collaborators with admin access to the workspace can edit, add, or remove collaborators from sharing through the Sharing tab. Anyone who is shared to the workspace will be automatically shared to everything inside of the workspace. So if I create a new sheet inside the workspace, or create a new sheet and drag it into the workspace, all these users will automatically be shared to the workspace. Down a little bit further, we have an option to view all the sheets that are owned and shared to us, or just the ones owned by us or shared to us. And we have the deleted items folder. Items here will remain here for 90 days, at which point they will be permanently deleted. At any time during that 90 days, you can right-click and undelete, or go ahead and delete forever. And the last thing I want to show you is the Help Center. Come up to the Help button, go to Help Center. We have an article for pretty much anything you'd want to do in Smartsheet. If you have any questions about any of our features, this is a great first place to come. You can either browse by topic or search for one. If it's a feature in Smartsheet, chances are there's a help article written about it. And most of our articles come with videos at the bottom. If you're not able to find what you're looking for, definitely contact the support team. And there's 3 ways to get a hold of us. You can email us at support@smartsheet.com. You can submit your question through this web form, or you can request a callback. Thanks for watching our Smartsheet 101 training session. If you'd like to learn more about the advanced functionality of Smartsheet, I'd recommend checking out our Smartsheet 201 training session, which is available in our video center.
Thank you for your time. If you have any questions, please contact your direct manager.